Welcome to Bumpdate 30 weeks / 29 weeks. I've been rolling on this 2-week vibe just because I feel like week to week, not a lot happens, but 2 weeks, there's plenty that changes. So I don't know if we'll keep going with that every 2 weeks or just every 1 week. I don't know. We'll just do whatever works, right? So symptoms have definitely changed since a couple weeks ago. It is Halloween, by the way. That's why I'm a big pumpkin. So yeah, it's just appropriate this Halloween for sure. I should have painted my belly, but I did not. Symptoms. This week in particular, have had a lot of like pelvic separation. So I can like physically feel that separation happening in my pelvis. So it's like almost bone pain, very centered, pelvic, I guess. And then definitely like compression in my lower back and glute. So that has affected things. I am walking with a good old waddle, and some days are better than others. So the pain is there this week. I've had some like cramping too. My belly skin is like itching. So I definitely feel like there's growth happening. Whereas like last week wasn't feeling any of this. So it just really changes week to week. Oh, I have rib pain on both sides, even when I'm like standing, which I don't remember with Letty. I do remember it when I'm like laying on my side and stuff, but I don't remember it just like standing around. So not sure what's happening there, but again, definitely some growth happening this week. Last week we went to Costa Rica, which was so much fun, and thankfully everything went really smoothly. I probably should have done more research on the area we were in because I felt like we were in the middle of nowhere, and if something would have happened, then, you know, I don't know how close we were to the hospital. But thankfully everything was pretty good last week. I'm still not sleeping very well. I sleep upright pretty much in this position because if I go any farther back, I just feel like I'm suffocating. I have tried to sleep on my belly, like by making a pillow hole and everything. I have not perfected that process, so I can't sleep on either side. I can't sleep on my back, obviously. So yeah, I think sleep is suffering, and then some insomnia, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, waking me up, which is so funny because I saw that in my last Bumpdate video for Letty at 30 weeks. I was just like, I'm not sleeping well. I also have the same feelings about just being at 30 weeks and almost 31 weeks, honestly. Once you hit 30, it's like, oh, okay, you know, things are getting real. We only have like a couple weeks left. And you know, sometimes people deliver early, so you just never know what's gonna happen. You know, I could be like 6 weeks away from seeing my baby. It's gonna absolutely fly by come the holidays. I mean, the holidays are just gonna make everything just go by, and then all of a sudden he will be here. So I'm excited though. I did have a couple like breakouts on my back and my face, but I don't know. I think that was just like traveling and maybe using some different makeup recently. So I can't really attribute it to like hormones. With Letty at this point, I was complaining of like a bump under my armpit or a lump. And that actually was there, gosh, I wanna say at like 12 weeks this time. So it's been there, but it's not like painful. I just like have kind of like chunky armpits. They look like lumpy, which is just, I mean, like for breastfeeding and everything. So hopefully breastfeeding is gonna go well, because that's a great sign, right? Let's move on to cravings, any food cravings. I love to look back and watch, you know, like where I was with Letty at this time. And I was craving like Mexican and Italian, and although that stuff sounds really good, well, actually, I don't know, it sounds like fine. I would eat it. Like I'll eat anything at this point. But it does sound like something that would give me heartburn, which I didn't have heartburn with Letty, if you can imagine, because she had so much hair. No heartburn. And watch, this baby will have like no hair. Well, I can't imagine that that will be true, but you never know. Heartburn, no hair, I don't know. But I am not really craving those things. I was talking in Letty's video about my appetite just being so much larger and being able to finish like so much more food, and that's definitely true for me this time too. Your appetite is just like, wow, I can't believe I ate all of that. Like I'm just not used to eating a full plate or like being able to finish things or like scarfing things down. Like it's just, it happens. You just need more fuel. But last night I could have eaten like an entire pan of green beans. They had lemon pepper on them. They were so good. I don't know what it is about that. But that was like kind of the first vegetable that I've been able to kind of eat, but I overcooked them so they were easier to digest because I still have digestion issues. But as far as like cravings go, cereal for sure. I always probably have cereal like once a day. Ice, I'm loving ice right now, but that's pretty much it. As far as aversions go, haven't really had any aversions. I would say I'm like sensitive to house smells or like overpowering smells. So yeah, I don't know. There's some like sense of my Pura diffuser that I'm just like, I can't handle. So I have to like switch it up. But thankfully like Christmas and Thanksgiving is coming and I do like more of those like cinnamony warm smells. So just gotta find the right thing. But as far as like food aversions, we had like some ceviche in Costa Rica and I was like, yeah, I don't really like this, but I don't really know if it was like an aversion necessarily. As far as emotions go, I had anxiety around this time last time with Letty, and I definitely am starting to have it a little bit more this time, especially like early morning. I'll wake up and just think about like the most outrageous things and get anxiety about it. And some of it involves Letty, some of it involves the baby, but like just seems to be very heightened. And then just emotionally, I think I'm very up and down recently, very like irritable, like quick to anger, just like not normal behavior from me. So I really have to watch myself, especially with Letty, because obviously having a toddler is like frustrating, but it's not their fault. And so you gotta kind of have to like contain yourself. But emotionally, yeah, definitely different from a couple weeks ago. As far as workouts go, I took last week off and I just walked in the morning like 45 minutes with Letty in the stroller, and then I would lift like 30 minutes. It was a little bit boring for me, but it also felt good. A, for my body, B, just to like do something different. CrossFit has been something I want to still do consistently, but like it's just getting to the point where it's not good for my body right now. And I have to be more careful about like the weights that I use, and I can't do a lot of the movements. Like I just physically, it hurts my lower back. I'm very sore the next day. I'm very tight the next day, which affects my walking, which just affects everything. It affects my sleep. So it's just a domino effect, I think, when I'm sore. And so it's like, even though I could probably modify every single workout that they have going on, I just really have to like pick and choose right now. So yesterday I did CrossFit. Monday I didn't, or sorry, Tuesday I didn't. Today I didn't work out at all. So I think I'm just like decreasing a little bit, but I would say like still 2 CrossFit workouts a week, and then maybe like 2 or 3 walking and lifting sessions is the goal still up until I deliver. At 30 weeks, your baby is like getting more skin color. I hope he has dark skin like Brad, and then dark hair like Brad. I hope he's just like a little mini Brad. That would just be so adorable. Definitely growing hair everywhere, called Lanugo. He is the size of like a carton of eggs, a dozen eggs, or a head of lettuce. They have the weirdest things. Supposedly he weighs 3.44 pounds, but 2 weeks ago, literally 2 weeks, I had my ultrasound and he weighed 3.3 pounds. So we're already, we were measuring a week ahead. And so I'm definitely curious. I'll have an ultrasound again in 2 weeks and we'll see where he is at that point. Ooh, I don't know if he's gonna be a big baby or a normal baby. He was head down when we did the ultrasound, so like butt is right here, head is down, and then his feet, which is exactly the same as Letty. Once again, I have not purchased anything, so as far as products, I can't really say. I am having my baby shower. I'll probably have had it by the time I record my next bump date, but I think maybe the biggest thing is we have a crib now. I got it from Target. I really wanted to do a black crib in his room. So I sold Letty's white one and I got the black one. We still have to put it together. I think we're gonna do that probably this weekend. And then my mom's coming next week and she's gonna help me like wash all the clothing and get everything organized in the baby's room. So that will be like the highlight. That is just like my favorite part, is just prepping everything and organize everything. And you know, after my baby shower, I'll probably have a lot to show, but I have not purchased anything yet. Eek. High and low of the week, or last 2 weeks. I would say some highs are just traveling the last 2 weekends and just being able to be with Brad and be alone with Brad and have that time together before the baby comes. And kind of baby moon. So we did that in Costa Rica. We went to someone's wedding in Houston. That would probably also be the low because we had to leave Letty behind. And I also was just like sad that it's over. Like we probably won't travel till next fall or something, which is weird for us. I mean, maybe we'll go somewhere next spring with Letty and the baby, but like, yeah, I just don't know. So that's probably the high and low of the week. We are going to look at the bump in a second, but I think the last like piece of encouragement and point I can drive home to you guys if you are sitting at home pregnant and thinking about your weight gain. I think it will help to just have someone maybe in the same boat as you. So with Letty, I gained probably like 60 pounds total. So I started out at like 142, and I think by the time I delivered, I was over 200 pounds. I don't know, because I didn't really pay attention at those last appointments. I was like, I don't really care. I'm so swollen, like I'm ready to get this baby out. And then after that, so immediately after labor and delivery, I think like a week later, I was already at like 170. And then probably like a month and a half later, I was back down to 160. And then it took a considerable amount of time because of breastfeeding. Like my body held on to weight because of breastfeeding. And I think I got back down to like 148, probably a year and a half later, maybe even 2 years later. And I was really like, you know, shooting for and fighting for that 142 number. Just because I thought, oh, it'd be nice to get back to like that pre-pregnancy weight. But honestly, your body's like so different after pregnancy. I mean, my body had changed completely. I had lost muscle, not necessarily like strength, but just like visible muscle through breastfeeding and through pregnancy. So hopefully that won't be true, as true this time, but it is what it is and it happens. So then for this pregnancy, I entered it probably at like floating between 148 and 152 on any given day. So I already started like 10 pounds heavier than with Letty. And right now, I don't know how much I weigh, but I'm probably like 185, I would say, maybe like approaching 190. I don't know, I think it's probably stabilized a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but to gain 1 pound at least per week for my entire pregnancy is like so normal for me. And then towards the end, of course, with water weight, like sometimes that's 2 pounds a week. So obviously, like ask your doctor and make sure that like your weight gain is okay. But I just don't want you all to feel bad if you're, you know, gaining upwards of like 60 pounds. It's just what happens sometimes, and your body's doing what it needs to do. I don't really like track food or track macros unless I really should rein myself in, like if I were to gain like a bajillion pounds, you know, between appointments. But, you know, it is something that can be discouraging. Like I myself am not always pleased with it. I can be easily discouraged by it, but that's also hormone speaking and a little bit of anxiety speaking, right? So just know that like you're gonna get back to yourself. It's not gonna be the same self, but you're gonna get back to where you're pleased, and you're gonna do that with hard work and dedication, and your life's gonna be different, and that's okay. But don't be discouraged about it, because your body's doing exactly what it needs to do to grow a baby. And comparison is the thief of joy. So don't compare yourself or your pregnancy to someone else's, because that's really easy to do, believe me. But let's look at bump.